Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've made a video here. The plan was to take just a couple weeks break off of YouTube to get readjusted around here. My oldest son, who helped me do the most things in my business, stopped helping me, so I've just been trying to refocus, to redo my processes and how I do things, and just get in a new rhythm and flow with my reselling business. Quite a bit of things have changed, which I want to share, but I'm going to leave all of those things for future videos where I can talk about different things more in depth that I'm doing differently now. In today's video, I just want to share a good old-fashioned thrift haul. I have a bin of shoes here and a bin of clothing. I've gotten a lot better with clothing sourcing lately. I feel a lot more confident when I enter a thrift store, and I'm also able to go through these stores a lot faster than I used to be able to when I barely got back into sourcing clothing again. So I'm able to hit up more thrift stores in one day than I used to be able to, and I'm starting to get a little bit more inventory, which has helped me up my listings a bit. For this thrift haul right here, I think it's about, well, I know from here, it's 61 items. This is from the day before Mother's Day, so a lot of the stores around here were having sales. That's where all this came from. I spent a total of $333.93 for 61 items, so the average cost of goods comes out to be $5.47. That is an excellent cost of goods for me, because in the past it used to be closer to the 7, 8, even 9 that it was getting that high once these thrift stores started pricing their stuff up too high. But thank God they're pricing things a little bit more reasonable now. Sometimes some stores still are being outrageous with their prices, but I found quite a few stores that I can at least work with. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with these shoes, and then we'll move on to the clothing. So for these shoes, I've already processed, photographed, and even listed all of them. So the cost of goods, the exact cost of goods is not going to be on these. I'll just tell you off the top of my head when I remember. All of the clothing hasn't been processed. Tags are still attached, so I'll be able to tell you exactly what I paid for all of those. First, a pair of shoes I have here is by Vionic, which you already know. It's one of my favorite brands to pick up. A lot of the older brands that I used to talk about are no longer my favorite anymore. I skip them a lot, but this one is still one that has held up over time, thank God. I mean, there are a few items that I have to leave behind, but I feel like Vionic has done a really good job of keeping up with the times, and so a lot of their stuff still does really well. I do try to look up mostly everything, but there are some things that are just no-brainer. These I think I didn't look up because they're a chunky summer lug sole sandal. I'm not too excited about this taupe color. I prefer a deeper brown, black, something like that, but I think it'll do well. This next pair of shoe is by this brand called Teva, T-E-V-A. This one, a lot of their stuff doesn't sell for that much, but there are certain pockets within this brand that are excellent and will sell for a lot. These may not sell for a lot, but it is a very popular style by Teva. It is called the Universal, I think, sandal. They make flat ones, which I have a pair, and they make chunky platform ones like this one. These are kind of plain, so who knows how they're going to do, but I've never had that style of Teva sandal sit for too long in my closet, so I love picking that one up. Here's the other pair that I got. This one also by Teva, which you could probably see a little better there, and in excellent condition. The other ones were too. Most of the shoes that are in here and that I get all the time are almost in like new condition, because that's just the way I prefer to do it. Get home, just quickly wipe them and post them instead of sitting there trying to do all this extra stuff to the shoes and take up the time, unless they're worth it. These were $7, which is a little bit pricey for the flat style. If these were $7 and were also just plain black, I wouldn't have got them, but since they have the this like celestial moon sun embroidery. I thought that was a unique feature that would help them sell for good enough money to make those $7 worth it. These I paid up for, well, a little bit more than usual. I paid $10 for these, but there was no way I was going to leave these behind. They are by this brand called Circus in New York, which is a brand made by Sam Edelman. This brand, I feel like they're upping their game with their shoes. They're making them more and more unique. Awesome styles. I really love it. This is a double platform loafer. So many great keywords to use with it too, like dark academia, preppy. They have the gold chunky chain right there. I think I will be able to get close to the $40 for these. I don't want to go below $35. I did see the comps were around the $30 mark, but those were plain. They weren't the tapestry moss green color like this one. So that's why I wanted to give them a chance. Even at $10, I think I can make those work. Anytime I see this kind of shoe, it's just an automatic pickup. It is by Madewell. Not all Madewell shoes do well, but when it's like a dark brown leather or even black leather footwear, whether it's sandals or loafers, most of the time it's coming home with me. I don't even look up comps, and the best thing about those kind of shoes is that the thrift stores don't price them up. Like these were like $3 or $4 in like new condition, and I love that the brown leather is quilted, so it's a little bit something extra than just the plain brown leather. This was a style-based pickup. It is by Dr. Scholl's, which that looks like their older logo, but I love the chunky wedge. They also have woven straps, crisscross straps. We're in the season for it, and they were cheap, maybe like $3 or $4 too. This brand fell off a whole bunch. It is a Chaco. In the summer, these held up my sales so much because I found them all over the place. They were selling like crazy, so I would pick up all their styles anytime I found them, as long as they were priced even like $7, $8 or below. These right here are probably going to go for $25 or so. I didn't look them up because I like the style of them. They were only $3 or $4. That was the case with most of these sandals. I found them all at the same place, and they were priced around that price range. And I picked them up because they're a little bit unique because they're strappy, but they're older, like fabric strappy kind. Those I skip all the time, whereas before it was an automatic pickup. Okay, this has to be the most exciting shoe in this bin. It is by a brand called Sneaks. This brand is made by Sarah Blakely, who also makes Spanx. She recently came out with these. It wasn't that long ago. So when I saw them on the shelf at the store, I instantly knew what they were because I follow her on Instagram. She posts amazing motivational type content, inspirational content for business owners too. So I love following her page and checking out what she's up to. And she shared her process of her creating these shoes. So I instantly recognized them. I put them in my cart even though they were priced at $20 just to check what the internet said about them, what they're going for. And what I found was that there are 0 available on eBay when I checked, but 4 of them had sold in the past 90 days, and they had sold in the $200 to $300 mark. The problem is that those in the title, it said they come with box and dust bag. So mine's aren't with box, but they are in like new condition, excellent condition, and I decided to go ahead and shoot for the stars. Basically, I listed them at $350. Hopefully I can get around the $270 to $280 mark. If I see that they're not getting much attention in a couple of weeks, I'll probably go in and drop the price to about $320. As soon as I posted them though, I did get a question on Poshmark asking about the dust bag and box, so I guess that's important for people who want those kind of shoes. But because they got attention right away, I think they're going to do well. I hope they do, because that would be an amazing sale. 20 into about 200, 250 even would be great. And here we have these combat Converse boot, lace up, chunky lug sole. They are in like new condition. I didn't even have to clean them. I just took a disinfecting wipe inside and out and they were ready to go. I listed these I think for closer to the $50 mark, so hopefully I can get closer to the 40. They are a rose gold color. The fabric is satin. It is kind of like this textured fabric too, double platform. So many great keywords I was able to use, so I have faith in those. This is just a classic style that I love picking up during the summer, kind of like the Dr. Shows I showed, but these are by Madden Girl. I love picking up most of them as long as they're cheap. This must have been kind of like the other sandals around the $4 mark. Chunky wedge, we're in the season for them, so I was really glad to find all of those sandals that were good styles and also in okay brands marked really low, because that made that trip to that store really worth it. This is an amazing brand to pick up too. It is called Hunter. Rubber rain boots. These have the speckled midsole. They're in okay condition. No, more like great condition inside too. I think I paid like $15 for these. The comps weren't that convincing. One had sold I think in April, if I'm not mistaken, for about $40 for someone, and that was the only sold listing. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a chance because Hunter has always done really well for me. I almost skipped these. I saw them up on the shelf, and to me they just look like the cheap Amazon brands where the insole doesn't even have a brand name. And when they look like this, when they're chunky, it's just so hollow. They're just very cheaply made. That's what these appeared to me like when they were up on the shelf. But I thought, you know what? Let me see what they are. And to my surprise, they're by this brand. It's called Havana Last, but they are made by Jeffrey Campbell. Jeffrey Campbell makes quirky, awesome shoes like this, and that's what they're known for. The Havana brand seems to perform just as well for me. I do look up all of the Jeffrey Campbell shoes I find though, well, for the most part, unless it's just a super unique shoe like this one I didn't. But there are other more plain looking Jeffrey Campbell shoes. Those I look up because sometimes they can sit forever. This one though, I don't anticipate it sitting that much. And you know what? I think these were priced at like $4 too. So I don't know what was wrong with the stores these days, but I'm glad they were pricing things like surprisingly low. I mean, there was some stuff that was like, what are you thinking pricing this at $20 when I can get it cheaper at the store? Those kind of scenarios. But there were a lot of things like, oh my god, I cannot believe they missed this and priced it so low. This is one of those. They priced it at just $4. This brand actually reminds me a lot of Jeffrey Campbell. It is called Azalea Wing. They are also known for making quirky, just out of the box type shoes. These here are some fur-lined mules with studs all over in like new condition. These don't go for a lot. I think Jeffrey Campbell shoes usually go for more, but I'm sure there are some styles that will go for a bunch. These, I listed them at like $34 and I expect about $28 for them, especially because they are more like a winter type shoe with the fur lining. That's why I didn't want to shoot too high with those. And then for our last shoe right here, we have another Vionic sandal. I've been selling these all summer long. The platform, they're called high tide sandals, but these are called something different, I think, because they have like the woven brown leather sandal and that embellishment there in the front. But I did find these and I thought, you know what, let me check my closet to see how Vionic is doing for me, because here I am buying all these Vionic thong sandals, watch them not be selling, because sometimes I can't keep track of it all. But when I searched up Vionic on my Poshmark closet, I only had like one left and so many others had sold, so I was like, yeah, you're definitely coming with me. Now we are moving on to this big bin of clothing. I think nowadays I'm a little bit more excited about clothing than shoes, whereas before it was the opposite, and that's just because the stores around here have changed so much. Before there was an overabundance of shoes where I could focus on just selling shoes for a couple of years. I didn't even look into clothing, but now there's a lot more clothing than there are shoes. I got 14 shoes out of 61 items and the rest are clothing. That just goes to show how much stuff has changed around here. The first item here is this Lily Pulitzer dress. I can spot it very easily because they have a bright pink tag. This dress was $4.50 and it is just in their classic tropical type print. Originally I thought this may be a romper, but it's not. It's a dress, but it does have shorts lining, so that's awesome. I think this type of style by Lily Pulitzer is a little bit oversaturated on the reselling marketplaces. So if this was priced up a little bit higher, I probably would have not got it, but since it was so cheap, even if I sell it at about $25, it will leave me a good enough profit. This is a brand I skip a lot. It is called Altered State. They make boho-y type clothing, coquette, girly for the younger crowd. It used to do really well, but now it's slowed down a lot. There's just so much of it. I decided to get this dress though because I thought it was very beautiful with this mesh lining on top, Swiss dot pattern all over, smocked waist, ruffled sleeves up here. It is a size large and I paid $4.50 for this one. This next dress is by Natural Lie. This is a mini shift style type dress or a tent dress. It is very beachy like. It looks like a seashore graphic all over, which I thought was beautiful. A raw hem, so very beachy coastal vibes. This is cotton. I was checking if it was linen because it feels gauzy almost. It is very beautiful and I paid $2.50 for this little dress. This next dress is by this brand called Packed, which I've been liking picking up lately. I paid $3 for this one. It is like a light pink color, although it kind of comes off as a little bit purple. Pockets on the side, just very flowy, summery dress. This is a gauze-like material that is 100% organic cotton. When it's organic, I like to put that either in my title or description because I think that adds a little bit of value. This dress is actually a long maxi dress, very colorful, patchwork-like, very stretchy material, and this one is a larger size in an extra large. I paid $3.50 for it, and it is by Soft Surroundings. I skip a bunch of soft surroundings, but something I've noticed is that plus size maxi dresses, especially if they're floral, show up as an excellent sell-through rate most of the time. At the very least 20 to 30% on the eBay research app. That's what I like to see for these kind of dresses, and that's why I picked that one up. This is by Intro, I'm pretty sure. That's what the tag looks like. It's a boutique style brand that I've been picking up quite a bit lately. I do skip a lot of pieces, but there are a bunch out there that fit the bill that will do well based on style. I wasn't too convinced with the color of this one. If it was a more summery color, it would have been better, but I wanted to go ahead and give it a try anyway. It has like these flare type sleeves, pleating detail here at the chest, kind of like a cinched waist, a keyhole back, very flowy dress that seems to do well in this brand. Did I say I paid $4.50 for this? That's around the price I like to stay with Intro, around $4 to $4.50. Maybe I'll pay $5 if it's an excellent style, but usually those sell around the $18 to $22 mark for me, so I try not to pay up for those. Here's another Soft Surroundings dress. This one actually has the tan tag as opposed to it just being a graphic style. This one is a 2X and I paid $3.50 for this one. And again, because it's maxi length, it's floral, it's summer colors, that's why I thought this one would work out for me. I was very surprised by this dress. It is by Fashion Nova, which is a brand I skip a lot. I don't like picking it up because it's already cheap online as it is, especially in their clearance section. And so when you try to resell it, you really aren't going to get much. But this dress is so beautiful. It is a blazer style dress. It is a jumpsuit underneath. It has oversized shoulder pads. These things are the thickest I've ever felt on a dress. But this skirt at the bottom does go on top of the jumpsuit. and it is a black satin. I can't really get it together, but yeah, this flowy, ruffly draped skirt goes at the bottom. So once I get it on the hanger and I'm able to adjust it well, it's gonna look beautiful. And I was so surprised that they priced this at $3.50. Normally, even Fashion Nova, I mean, they wouldn't go below $7 or so. And the fact that this is a dress that has so many neat details, that's why I was so surprised they priced it that low. And as soon as I saw the price, I knew it was an automatic pickup. This brand is called Tibby. I looked up this dress and it didn't seem to do that well, or not much information was coming up when I was researching it on eBay at least. But once I looked on Poshmark, I did see that a few had sold, and because I'm going to be able to use nice keywords with this one, especially the word safari, I thought I'd go ahead and give it a try. It has faux button pockets, pleating detail. It is a size 6. I paid $4.50 for it, and my hope is that I can get at least $28 for it. Here's this brand again, Natural Life, but this one is a maxi dress. It is very flowy and it is tiered, which is an excellent keyword to use with these kind of dresses too. And I paid $4.50 for this one. This is a style based pickup. It is a no brand, literally no brand anywhere in sight. I paid $3.50 for it, and sometimes when I don't find a brand on things, I try to look at the material tag, because oftentimes the material tag will kind of tell you a little bit more about the piece, as like where it's made, the size, and also once you feel that material tag, it either feels high quality or low quality. This one doesn't even have a material tag, but it is like a milkmaid type dress. Has the tie here in the front, lace, very coquette, feminine, girly, dollette like. Those are all the kind of keywords I'm going to add in my description for that. Here's this dress by Marine Layer. It is a size large and it has embroidery all here in the front. It is a gauze like material, very cool at the top with the flare short sleeves, maxi length, tiered. The dark gray color, I mean, it's gonna sell I think, but if it was a different color it probably would do better. I thought it would be organic or something, but no, it's just 100% cotton. Here we have this Zara piece. I paid $3.50 for this one. What caught my attention was the dark green color and also the eyelet detail everywhere. I've been selling quite a bit of eyelet detailed items in tops and dresses, so I think this one will do well. It is tiered as well. It is a smaller size, but I think that maybe on Depop it will do well. Oh, this is the most amazing find I have in this bin. The shoes, it was the sneaks, and in this bin it's this vintage Lakers Bryant jersey dress. I was so surprised to see the price on this thing. It was only $8, whereas even just regular jerseys, they usually price at like $40 or $50. So on half off day you can pay like $20 to $25. This I only paid $8. I looked it up on eBay, and what I found was that one sold in February for someone for about $125. So my hope is that I can get close to $100 for this. I'll have to do a little bit more research. I don't want to overprice it and have it sit, but I think I'm going to be able to get a decent amount for it. Here we have this dress by Anthropologie, again with the eyelet detail. I just sold a Maeve dress, which is also by Anthropologie, that looked just like this, but it was a maxi length. That one sold for $30, so I'm not sure how this shorter one will do, but my hope is that I can get close to that 30 or at least in the upper 20s. So that's the end of the dresses. This next section I'm getting into here are actually pants, jeans, and a little bit of leggings maybe. This here is by Democracy, which I think that you have to be real careful what you pick up by this brand. I recently picked up a wide leg jean by them, but other than that I try to skip mostly everything. This is a skinny style, at least that's what the tag says, but to me it looks a little bit more straight, and it is a 10 petite and it is new with tags. I did pay $7.50 for it, so I was going back and forth whether I should get it or not, but I wanted to bring it home and try it for myself to see if I liked it, and then I thought if it doesn't fit well then I'll sell it. I tried it and it fits me short, which is weird because I usually am petite. I am like 5 or 5'1", on. So usually petite styles fit me well, but this one was way too short for me. Here we have some more new with tags, but these are by Spanx, which, as I mentioned earlier, it's by Sarah Blakely, who made those sneaks shoes. These are new with tags, as I said, just some simple pull-on black pants. I paid $8.50 for them, and this particular style by Spanx has done well for me in the past, where it has like this pin tuck. Is that what y'all told me this is called? This like stripe here in the front. Here we have some more Spanx. I think I got quite a bit of Spanx this day. It is a jumpsuit actually, and here's what their newer tags are looking like. It's just a plain black and white tag. I've seen this on some of their jeans and some of their pants too. This was $7.50. I usually don't like jumpsuits, but because it was Spanx, I definitely wanted to at least look it up, and to my surprise, their sell-through rate was up there in the 50s or 60s, so hopefully that does really well for me. The next pair of pants is by a beautiful brand called P-O-L. I love finding their items. I do skip the more plain ones. If it's just a plain sweater, a plain shirt, plain pants, I'll skip it. But when it looks like this, patchwork, boho, like super baggy, oversized, those are the kind of things I like finding by this brand. The great part is that it's hardly ever priced up because it looks like a cheap brand. It is a boutique style brand, but there are certain items within this brand that can go for a lot and sell pretty quickly too. I paid $3 for these pants. Didn't look them up, so I'm not sure what they will go for, but my guess is in the upper 20s or 30s. I had to take a little break. I was running out of breath. I haven't recorded in so long. I think I lost the ability to speak for long periods of time without getting tired. But here is this next brand called Golf Teeny. I just like the name of this brand, and I thought, let me look it up. I've never seen it, never heard of it, and these are some beautiful blue and pink striped pants. When I looked it up, the comps looked excellent. These pants are a large and a 450. I'm excited to see how this does. They do have this little martini type logo in the back, so hopefully they do well, and then I can start looking out for it in the pants section. Here's this old school brand called Co. I forgot even how to say it. I haven't picked it up in so long. It is $3.50, or it was $3.50. Just some hiking outdoor style pants. They are adjustable, so you can roll them up and make them into capri, which I like to see in hiking pants. I feel like it adds value and helps them sell a little bit better. Here's a minimalist style brand called Everlane. They are some linen wide leg pants. I do skip a lot of Everlane in the bottom section. When I'm going through it, I do find quite a bit. A lot of jeans and things like that, but I like to look those up because a lot of them have terrible sell-through rates, but this one I didn't look up because it is linen. We're in summer. I paid $3.50 if I didn't already say. This brand is called Tucker Nuck, which is a fairly expensive brand. I love finding it. I always pick it up. Some of their stuff sells way faster than others. There's some wide leg dress pants, black floral detail on the side. I think there are a little bit of runs down here. I'm not sure if that's part of the design or their actual runs. Hopefully not. But if so, that's going to drop the value a bit. They're also here on the other side and here in the front. I didn't notice that at the store, but we'll see how these do. I really need to start looking up this brand when I find it, because although it sells for a lot, some of their pieces, as I said, can sit. These I picked up based on style, just some very wide leg, roughly pant. They are by this brand called Emery Rose, does it say? I think this is my very first time giving this brand a shot. It's kind of like BB and Intro, where they're like boutique style brands, and those sell for me based on style, so we'll see about these. They were $2.50. Then we have some Athleta. They are a larger size in a size 22. I do pick up this brand quite a bit. Every time I come home, I have at least a handful of pieces by them. These were $4.50, but I do like to stick to the newer styles. These are some white linen pants, so even though they're older, I thought they had a chance. They are from 2022, so not as old as I thought. I thought they were going to be from like 2018 or something. So that's a big tip I have with Athleta. Always look at the year because if they're a more recent style, then they're probably going to sell a lot better for you. Although some of their older styles can do well too. These are by Babaton, which is an Aritzia brand. They also have Wilfred, and I forget the others. I do skip a bunch of those. The sell-through rate is terrible on a lot of their pieces, although there are a few here and there that show up as doing good online. These are some pleated front pants, some wide leg, just dressy style pants, which in the past have done well for me, but I do not like this color. A cream color in dress pant usually sits for me, but we'll see how those do because they are that brand. Hopefully they sell a lot better than others. Here's some more Spanx, also new with tags, and these were $8.50, which I think is the same price as the other pants I showed. These aren't the same because they're more like a athleisure style fabric, whereas the other one is more of a dress pant. It doesn't have the pleat in the front either, which is why I was debating whether I should pick them up or not, because they don't have that many notable features other than them being new with tags, them being Spanx, and them being an extra large. But I wanted to go ahead and give them a shot anyway because they are that newer Spanx tag, so that tells me it's a more recent style. I was telling you about being surprised at some of the prices this day, and that is the case with these. They are the Aerial jeans. They're called REAL, and I find a lot of them and they're always priced up like crazy. They price them at like $30 or more. These were only $4.50. They have the embroidery in the back. They're a bootcut style. They are a smaller size, which is the only drawback. They are a size 26, but because they were so cheap, I of course wanted to go ahead and see if I could get these sold. These are an automatic pickup every time I see them. They are by this brand, We the Free, which is by Free People. Size 29, $7.50. Dark green color, baggy, button fly here in the front. I wanted to see if I could call these utility because that's an excellent keyword to use with these style of pants, but I don't know if they look utility enough. Usually I like to use that word when they have cargo pockets or like that strap here on the side, but we'll see with these. These usually sell for me really fast and in the upper 30s. Now we're moving into the tops, and then I have a few skirts. First up here we have this corset that I paid $4.50 for. It is all undone, but once I do it, it'll look a lot neater. Dark green color with this jacquard style print all over it. I recently picked up a corset like this that has no brand or anything anywhere, and it sold for about $20 for me, so I wanted to go ahead and give this one a shot too. If that one sells around the $20 mark as well and in a good of enough time frame, then I will know moving forward that those corset style tops I can pick up when I can find for like $4 or below. I was going back and forth with this piece. It is by Silkland. Of course, 100% silk, as the name implies. It is a size medium and it was $3.50. When I looked up the brand, it had terrible comps. They weren't selling for that much on eBay. I couldn't find this exact style, but other similar styles. But since this one had embroidery all over, it is a longer length and it has like shoulder pads. I thought I could make this work. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I literally put it back and then went back and got it because I believed in it that much, because of the embroidery, because it's silk, and because it was a cheaper price. Even if I end up selling it really low in the end to get it moving, I'll still have profit in the end. This one is by Sundance, which I find myself picking up still. There are very few pieces that I end up putting back. This one I paid $3 for, and I liked it because of the open knit crochet oversized look and the hoodie in the back, drawstrings in the front, a beautiful blue color. I think this one will end up moving pretty well for me. Then we have this brand called Alley Miles, which I learned about from Gloria. She also has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of style-based sourcing, and I've been learning a lot about that kind of sourcing from her. I will link her channel in the description down below so that you can go check her out, because I'm learning a lot from her and I'm sure you would too. She talks about this brand. She said it used to do well, but now not as much, and I find a bunch of it every time I go to the store, but a lot of the times they're a little bit more plain or a little bit of a smaller size. This one here is a large. I paid $2.50 and I just like the artsy look. It also has a patch pocket in the front, which I think she said that's something she looks out for in these kind of tops, so we'll see how that one does. Then we have this Chico's top. It is a larger size. It is an 18, a 3.5 in Chico's. So what, maybe that equals to an extra large. I paid $3.50 for this top, long sleeve, and it is 100% linen in this typical summer beachy color. This is another piece that I was going back and forth with. It is by Lovers and Friends. I paid $3.50, size extra small, so that's one drawback. I didn't find the exact style on eBay. I didn't find any solds or anything, so that's why I was like, should I take it? But I think there's so many great keywords I can use with it. It's also that front tie, which is popular right now. A lot of brands are making this style. I think I have a chance of selling this on Depop at the very least. Here we have this great brand called Vuori, which is an athleisure type brand. It is new with tags and it was only $3.50. So those are the two reasons I decided to go ahead and get this plain tank top, because it is new with tags and because Vuori holds a lot of value. I looked it up and I think I can get closer to the $20-25 mark for this simple tank top. But other than that, I do not go through the tank top section very often. Only when I'm not finding that much and I have extra time on my hands, then I will go through that section. But for the most part, I skip it because there's just not that much value in tank tops. That one though was on a new rack that I was going through, and that's why I got that one. Here's this top by True Religion. They priced it at $6.50. Just a simple Western button front top. I did look it up and comps looked not that great. I wouldn't have got it if it was more of a plain style, but because it has like rhinestone type buttons in the front, I decided to go ahead and get it and see if I can make it work. This is a style based pickup. It is called Sophie the Label, which I found before and looked up and it didn't look great, but this one I didn't look up after all because of the style. It's like this Peter Pan collar here in the front. I love using the word Lolita with these style of tops and dresses and even shoes that are Mary Jane like. Lolita is an excellent word that I think a lot of people look for on Depop, so I love using it. It is a size large and I paid $3 for it. Also, poplin white button down shirts do well for me on Depop, so that's why I think that one was a good pickup. Here's some more linen by Soft Surroundings in a size medium. I paid $2 for this one, and this is a short sleeve top, kind of like the Chico's but short sleeve. Speaking of Chico's, here is another piece by them. This one is in a size extra large, a pleated artsy looking top with flare like sleeves. I find so much Chico's, but I'm not too sure what is good to pick up and what is not, so I'm slowly testing and trying out that brand. Then we have some Victoria's Secret. This is a cami lace top. I paid $3.50 for it. Adjustable spaghetti straps. I picked up Victoria's Secret I think 2 other times besides this one. One was their like vintage satin style slip dresses. I priced it up pretty high. It's still sitting for me, but yeah, basically I'm just trying to test out Victoria's Secret in those styles that have the lace, the satin, and see how they do. This is something that's been doing really well for me lately. Ralph Lauren in plus size tops. This is a satin fabric as well, a python snake print all over. I paid $3.50. I was kind of hesitant with it. I actually put it to the side to decide at the last minute just because of the style, but because they've been doing really well for me lately, I decided to go ahead and see if I could make this one work too. With the other ones, when I look them up, they don't look like they're going to sell according to eBay's data, but they end up selling for me anyway. So I'm going to continue picking up Ralph Lauren plus size pieces even when comps don't look that great. And if this one ends up performing just as well as the other ones I've been picking up, then that's going to give me that much more confidence picking those up. I hate this brand. Torrid. I pick it up in shoes still, some of them, and it does really well for me, but clothing, it's sitting for me. Every time I think like, okay, this one should do well, it ends up sitting anyway. So this is a roughly striped blue skirt in a size 3X, $4.50. We'll see how this one does, but yeah, I don't have that much faith in it. Maybe should have left it behind, but we'll see. Then we have this Kato skirt. I picked this up based on style because it is a black and a purple, so I can use words like whimsy goth with this one, fairy grunge maybe. I paid $3.50 for it, and this is also something that I've been learning about from Gloria, these maxi style skirts that look grungy. She talks about them on her channel, and I picked up a few and they've sold pretty well, so that's why I wanted to give that one a try. Here's some more Poe. This is a different tag though. It is this brown faux leather tag. It is, let me see, it was $2.50 and just a camel mini skirt that's distressed, and it even has an uneven hem here. This is by the brand Cabby, which is something I skip a whole bunch, and even when I looked this one up, the comps didn't look that great. I paid $3.50 for it, but I think that I can use so many keywords with this one, kind of like the other dark green purplish skirt, whimsy goth, fairy grunge. All those things would go with this skirt. Even though it's not a longer length, I thought I could make it work, so we'll see. Here we have this one that is by Current Air. It is a chambray mini skirt, and I paid $2 for it. It has buttons here in the front. Again, mostly a style-based pickup with this one. And that is everything. The rest of the stuff in here is just clothing that I'm going to resell that's like from my son that he doesn't fit anymore. I like to do that, just pile it up here in this bin, and then once I have quite a bit of it, I'll put it into bundles and list them that way because they sell really well for me, like same day. So that's a big recommendation I have for you. If you have a bunch of clothing from younger kids, since they're more on the smaller side, the clothing, it's not going to sell for that much, so put them in bundles and then most likely sell. With that said, that's all I have for today. I hope you have found this video helpful, that you've learned new brands and things to look out for when you're out there sourcing. In the comments below, let me know which of these items right here was your favorite. As I said, for me, it was the sneaks and that Lane Bryant jersey dress. I can't wait to get those two things, or at least the jersey dress, listed to see how it does, and I'm excited to see how those sneaks perform. My guess is that as time goes on, we're going to start seeing them a lot more in the thrift stores, those sneaks, because they send them out as PR packages and then those people donate them, so they end up in the thrift stores. If those do well, then I will know next time to pick them up again, even if I have to pay up for them. Thank you for stopping by my channel today, and I'll see you in the next one.